Alright folks, so this is a project that I've been working on. Reminds me of a Bessler project. I got a friend who's doing some work on that. I've been working on this for a while. I had, if you've seen a previous video, which was not a very good video, but it had all these color sticks on it. These were popsicle sticks that you could buy at a craft store. It's cheaper than buying metal, especially for experimenting, and it's pound for pound, it's a lot better, a lot stronger. I've went with some new material, same sticks, but what I've done is take and run two sticks together and run a piece of craft board between it, glue them together. Which, if you notice, these are very weak. I mean, they'll break easy, especially after I put a few holes in them. What I've got here is a 2-ply with, like I said, with our poster board or craft board in between, which makes them a lot stronger and you know, a whole lot more weight. Even with the holes drilled in them, it's still a lot stronger. I've got 2-ply and also 3-ply, if you could see them there. Call them plysicle sticks. So I went ahead and redone this thing here, and I've got new bearings for this here, pillow bearings. I think it's got the same resistance as what I'm using right now, which is brass bushings on a 1/2-inch steel rod. I could have went with a long threaded rod, but I'd rather do my own threading so that I can, when I run the rod through the bearings, there's no problem with the threading and stuff like that. What I've used here to start with, and I had already pre-drilled holes, whatnot, is a pizza pan, which goes in an oven. Now, when I got it on the bolt here, it was sort of flimsy, so what I've used on both sides is some skill saw blades to kind of strengthen it up so it'll kind of hold it. Now I've just got old crutches here, which, you know, like I said, I just use materials for to build whatever I can. It's cheaper, better, cheaper otherwise. But you can see all my hardware and stuff in there. I think it's number 10 nuts, bolts, and screws. The hinges here, which you see, that's just weight on here. Alright, you'll see the dots. I've got there's 3 sections here. There's 1, 2, and 3. This is kind of giving me an idea where I'm at. Also, 2, I know where this thing drops to the bottom and how much distance I have before this thing is able to continue. Now it does, as you see, it does fall back here. I want it to go clockwise in this direction here. This is the weight out here that it throws. What I've got here is this weight is thrown out, and to get this thing to come back around. But being center here, I've got more weight to the left side than I do on the right. But I was hoping that the weight being way out here is going to drop this down a lot easier. Now, as you see, as it comes down, this right here, which this is still all a little bit tight, so everything's stiff. If I get better bearings and all this stuff going, it may work a lot better. But for right now, this is just still in the works. So I've got all these holes drilled so I can move stuff around, but this is the best design I've had so far. So when I start to spin this thing, I'll start here. This is supposed to fall back over here as it comes around, okay, to lessen the weight, to keep the weight in. Okay, this weight is supposed to, push down. As you can see, these weights help straighten this out, keep it out. As this comes around, you'll see I've got 3 triangles, 3 triangles here, not triangles, but squares, sections of 4, but they're all connected with this rod on each side. So there's 4 sticks here and 1 connecting. This is all supposed to work together as far as um, throwing the weight around and adjusting everything. Like I said, this, if I show you here, this is supposed to run in. Now, if you notice, this side is coming up. All right, this is still stretched out here, and if I show you, it'll start to move a bit from back here. See how that starts to fall around and it starts to spin? But I've got to get this to, somehow I got to get the weight over here more for this to come around and fold here and then start throwing this section up. Now, I'll show you where the weight right now is dropped to the bottom. That's, you know, where it's locked. Now, as I come around, bring it up, see, it's still trying to pull back. Okay, but this is supposed to fold in. Okay, but you see the dot that's down here coming up. Okay, it's still pushing back on me. Okay, which I'm hoping to get springs or maybe adjust some more stuff in here to get this balanced a little bit better. Okay, but as I come around, bring this in here, if it's free floating, it would come in this way. Now, still falling. Okay, about here, about roughly right in here. Okay, if I get this right, let me shake it a little bit, kind of to get it to go. See, right about in, well, okay. Well, it's not quite a quarter of the way, okay, which, and this whole thing is working in thirds. So, I mean, I would be actually up here, but right here is roughly where it's almost balanced again, okay. You see it's still pushing back a little bit. I'll go right about there. So it's about a quarter ways. But think about having springs or something in here to maybe help bring this in, to kind of get the weight to suck back in and help push this up. Now you'll notice if this comes down, let's see, if this goes in, you'll see everything working kind of together. See right there, and how that drops and it pushes that out. This is pulled in, but I'm trying to get my weight up here more. But sometimes as I get the weight out here more, I can't get it to unfold and quite as fast, you know, where I want it to get that weight up there and then drop. It'll wind up, let me show you right here. See how it starts to pick up right here, okay? It'll pick up, which that's great. You know, I'm kind of where I need to be. All right, got my other weight way out there. This one's supposed to come in, and see, as it comes in, it'll lift up here, okay? It'll come around, and like I said, if everything I think was a little bit looser, I got too much resistance was what I'm trying to say. Resistance in the 1/2-inch rod. I got like two bushings back here, and then I've got all these sections here that are causing me a lot of resistance. Now, like right here, this washer stood. Now I've just put all this together. This washer right here is a little stiff, so I'll have to loosen. I've got locking nuts, so I can adjust little by little. Like I said, there's a lot of resistance on here that's causing it not to go quite as well. I think once maybe it gets spinning with all that friction, that it may come around just enough that it can. Let's see, like that was, I don't know why that was locked there, but this is sort of like what it resembles to me is what I see folks working on as Bessler projects and stuff. But I'll go ahead around with this thing a few times so you can see more or less what it's supposed to be doing here as it comes around, okay, and working like such, okay. So I even thought about having something here to kind of keep that back, but then that'll cause me more resistance. I've just got to get this thing freed up so there's no resistance. But I'll move it here a little bit just kind of give you an idea of how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to work. So, you know, I've got this idea just came out of it came from an arm that I was working on for a costume a while back, and while walking through the garage where I've got the costume, I noticed the arms, and it kind of gave me the idea for this. But you know, like, I think best designs are something that comes out of your own head that you can create because you can understand it better and go forward with it. Whereas if you use something like the Bessler, there's a Skinner, stuff like that, which I do have a design for something that resembles also the Skinner, but it's probably much different. But the best designs come out of something that comes out of your own head, so you can learn to go forward with it. But like I said, there's going to be I'll be working on this, probably adding springs and stuff to kind of help push it. I've got, like I said, pillow bearings. I'm not sure how much. It's got a little bit less resistance on it than maybe the brass bushings, but you know, this is my project. I got no name for it or nothing like that, but it's just, you know, something that's in the works. So if you got any ideas, or you see something maybe I can probably adjust on here to, you know, maybe help balance this thing better. I mean, like I said, I've got all these holes lined here so that I can actually adjust here, move, you know, including with these pieces here. So like I said, you see how this thing will work. This is, you know, like I said, it's just something in the makings that something that came from nothing. And you know, see, the slamming's not good either. You know, I wanted to kind of, you know, that slamming, if I can use that where, you know, I can get springs in there to, before it slams, use that energy to help, you know, further move things in the place where I need it to go. So, like I said, this is just something, this is my project. I want to get it out there, share it with you folks, and, you know, see where we can come up with some alternative energy over unity. But I appreciate you folks. Thank you. Have a good day.